So often I get a question or questions, is running good? Is yoga good? Is weightlifting? Is this? Is that? And usually the answer is it depends, because if there was a blanket answer, I would just be giving sort of like a general answer that doesn't necessarily take into consideration what your goals are, what your situation is, what your opportunities are, what your level of motivation, commitment. There's all these factors that come into play. And then many years ago, we used to say, okay, just do these things and you'll be fine. And most people like understand what they need to do. Like, I know what to do, I just don't know how to do it. So the question where you are asking, is this good or is it bad, is technically the wrong question. Because what you should be saying is, this is my goal, and this is what I can do, and then you and I can have a conversation about what is the proper plan for you. Because running might be good for one person, it might hurt someone else's knees, it might be the worst thing ever for the next person. It all depends on you, and that's the same thing for yoga and keto and this and that. I mean, there's a lot of spectrum there, and everyone falls at a different point along the spectrum. So what we do is we look at the research and we say, okay, what's like the middle path, what works for the majority of people, and then we start down that path, and then you start to make different alterations, different adjustments based on the results you're getting. And that really brings up the point that you cannot judge your plan. You cannot know if it's working correctly unless you're constantly measuring, you're assessing, and reinforming your plan with those measurements. I often hear people not even measuring for weeks on time because they're concerned about the results. But the whole point is that if you're not getting the results, then the plan that you're on is not the right plan. So again, that question is, following, is calorie tracking the right thing? It can be. It depends. It depends on your situation. And if you're calorie tracking, and we know that we're tracking every little thing, you're not getting to the results, then we know that maybe it's something else in the grand scheme that is not the food that's causing this concern and causing this lack of results. So in order for us to know if you're moving in the right direction, of course you need to be assessing. But again, the most important thing is that the plan, the right plan, is more specific to you. Yes, it falls down this general path. Science has shown you got to be in a calorie deficit. You got to get enough protein. You got to get hydrated. You got to recover. You got to do some form of cardiovascular exercise, whether it's high intensity or low intensity. One is more effective than the other, but the whole point is that there's this general scheme of things that you need to do, and to what extreme you go in each direction for each one of these tactics, these strategies, it does depend on you. So if you ever ask somebody a question and they have an answer without even thinking about it, you need to understand you're not working with somebody who's been around long enough to understand these things. Because the first week as a fitness coach or as a trainer or whatever, you think you have all the answers because you read the textbook, you took a course, whatever it is, and you know the answers because it's like a path that everyone should be on. But realistically, life is in the way and everyone's situation is different, and you have to adjust it. And that's why the response is, when somebody asks me, is that the right thing? I have to say it depends. It depends on your situation, depends on your goal, depends on what your opportunities are. We have to get into it a little bit more. And that's really the value of having somebody alongside you, helping you to review your plan things out, and helping to assess.